Welcome back to another episode of Decentralized Chain. It's Faraz, and in today's episode, we are going to be catching up with one of my most favorite projects out there, which is Saito. It has been a while. It's been a while since we've had a chance to speak to Richard, and that's exactly what we're going to do, find out what's going on, how the bear market's treating them. But before we do, if this is the first time you're here, and obviously if you want to learn more about crypto, whether it's news, insights, or analysis to help you get that edge, start now by hitting the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. Also, come and join me over on the Telegram channel. Plenty of content there being shared and discussed. And also come and join me over on TikTok. Live streams every day talking about everything around crypto. And I will see you on the other side. Richard, welcome back to the show. It's been a while, long overdue. How have you been?
It has been a while. I'm on the other side of a different time zone again, with daylight and things here in Australia. Going very well, very positive at the moment in Saito land.
Good stuff. Well, let's get into the meat of it, Richard, as I'm sure our viewers are eager to find out what's going on. I'm going to start off with one. I'm going to talk about the bear market. It's no surprise. I know we don't talk about price and all of that, but Bitcoin being down almost 70% from its all-time highs, and various other digital assets floating around the minus 90%. How does that fare? How does that fare for you guys? How are you riding out the bear market?
Well, I think people who've paid attention, have been following the project along, have seen, David and I both have startup and small business experience. So, we've got fairly steady hands on the tiller, and people who've watched our financial updates know that, we've got our carefully maintained 5-year roadmap. But really, actually, in many ways, the bear is advantageous for us. I mean, we've got, people always say, "Oh, bear market's a time to build."
Yeah.
And for us, that's building community and development. Building the network, building the project out, and we're really flourishing, I think, at the moment. And people are starting to see the strength of the kind of overall strategy. And so it's helping us come out into view above all the noise and things. So it's actually been. It's tough in a bear, it's tough to keep morale and things like that.
Yeah,
it's very,
exactly.
Maybe more just because you're coming down off the fluff, right? You're coming down off the frothiness, and the bull market feels like the world will be different every morning when you wake up. And it's a bit of a come down to come into a more realistic pattern, which is really what bears are. If you look at Bitcoin price now versus 5 years ago, as a lot of people will point out, we're hardly suffering. And so it's a time, I think, really for us to shine. And I think we're really seeing that in terms of the industry recognition we're getting, uptick in social mentions and so forth. And our community numbers, the things we watch in terms of engagement and people getting into and following along with Saitos, they're all on the up. So for us, it's a positive time. But it does take thoughtful management, and it takes, maintained, careful eye on the fundamentals. So.
I mean, no, it's quite an important point that you mentioned. We do hear a lot around, various other projects will say, bear markets are the time to build. And I think one thing is obviously building and building out the platform and the technology, and the other item, which is almost important, if not one of the most important pieces, is making sure that you have that continued community engagement. Because at the end of the day, it's where disinterest comes in. Because, like you said, the frothiness of the market isn't there. The excitement isn't there, and people tend to take a little step back while it's quieter. But as we've seen in the past as well, those projects that have that community support behind them, even through the sort of lull periods that we're seeing, certainly come out racing on the other side when we start getting into more excitement within the market as well. What's your strategy in terms of the sort of long-term outlook that you've got going forward?
Well, I think we'll get on to sort of bigger updates shortly, but I mean, we're still continuing to do work on the fundamentals of the kind of Rust build out and the core chain. And at the same time, we've, I think, really hit our straps in terms of the product development side. And there, it's, as always, our products are designed, the things we build on top of Saito are designed to do a couple of things. They're designed to show what can be done on a PKI network like Saito, in a sort of space freed from strictures of things like smart contracts for development. And then at the same time, we're obviously trying to get real usage. We're trying to build that on-chain community as well. And the biggest part of that recently has been some real work on the kind of UI toolkit for developers. And the place to see that is in RedSqaure, sort of like saito.io/RedSqaure, which is both a social platform. At its heart, it's Twitter-like short post service. But it also integrates the games we have, and new tools were built like video chat, etc. So, just today we were playing with click on any address that anyone posts, the same as @ in Twitter, and use that to launch a video chat. Use that to start a direct DM chat with someone. And these are things you can do when it's an open network and people are identified by their keys. So I think what stuns people after a while using it is they realize, I just turned up here and I had all this at my fingertips. I didn't have to log in and create an account and risk losing anything, etc. It's all open by build and by design. And I think RedSqaure looks really good, and is we're starting to see that matched by high quality content and a really kind of compelling feature set. So we're getting great response from that. I think that's really pleasing for us at the moment.
Well, I mean, again, right, it focuses one on what you're building out, and number two, community, because ultimately well, I hope it's not you and 100 aliases talking back to yourselves, but I'm sure that's not the case.
I do have 2 accounts for Firefox and Chrome, so occasionally I do talk to myself, but usually it's one for one purpose and one for another. So.
But you've I hear there's also Quake available now as well on there, through classics.
Yeah, so that was we actually found a JavaScript version of the classic Quake arena. And we realized we could wrap it up in the arcade suite to help people find each other, join games, etc., etc. So it's more about, like, the development from our side is more about the delivery and showing the possibilities of how these things can be combined. So we can put our video chat over or next to the Quake system. So Quake 3, which never had that kind of feature, we can add it. And people can use their addresses to find each other, to set up a game, those sorts of things. And we might even take it further into different emulation and stuff. We're having a look at that because we're getting such a great response to Quake. I mean, people are just having fun. So that's quite cool. It's actually had a funnily negative effect on our transaction volume. I think it's because people find it and they disappear into the arena for 3 hours. They stop talking to their friends. They're off trying to shoot each other.
Well, I suppose that's. I mean, it's all feeding into sort of your leaderboards and your leagues and tournaments boards, right? I mean, that must also drive more engagement from there.
Right. Well, we've been trying to kind of meet community needs and also kind of drive people, toward the fun that's to be had, etc., through adding league features and leaderboards and stuff. And that's starting to get some real traction. We see people playing to get to the top of their league, or friends, setting up a regular poker night, etc., and having the system be able to track that. We're also adding a few more cryptos to be able to, have those involved in the different games, etc. So that's coming on. It's quite fun.
Bringing the focus back into development, what are the core development team building out on at the moment now during this process?
So it's all been kind of integration, reverse testing. I mean, just all of the pressure testing you need to do on a blockchain, and getting some amazing, kind of throughput numbers, etc. Just so we're making sure that the kind of core network is the essentially rewrite for Rust, so getting that on the network and having that really perform is what they've been concentrating on. And I think people have been asking about the eras and the roadmap and that sort of stuff. So that's all coming together now, and we're hoping I think we've scheduled a town hall for 2nd of November. We're trying to work out a time zone with me having moved a bit further away from the rest of the team, time zone wise. But 2nd of November, we'll have announcements soon for a kind of bigger town hall meeting where we'll make some announcements, but also just catch ups, let people know where we are on that roadmap, and kind of reset the next steps for people to see there where we're going.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Richard, for that one. So really, the main key bit here is stay tuned, and stay tuned for the roadmap, right? Town hall, plenty of updates coming out there. And
if you've got any
a lot more.
questions, if you want to lob anything our way, head over to RedSqaure, saito.io/RedSqaure, and ask us. We're always there because we're building it constantly, and it's a great little community growing there.
No, all the links are below for our viewers who want to check it out. So hopefully they will and make their way over there. But Richard, again, thank you for the time. Appreciate it as always. And let us catch up again next month and get some of these updates out and understand where we stand.
Absolutely. Let's with my move and stuff, I've been a little harder to get hold of, but with the everything betting down here in Australia, let's make sure we do this regularly.
Perfect. Cheers, Richard.